Okay. So, dagjia wajia weibi de, watsai Beijing Beijing dashu esile baga chinchi de hanyu. Don't sure what a hanyu haibu one may. So, how many here speak Mandarin? Anybody? Not too many people. Yeah, so I'll probably switch to English then. So what I was just saying there was that I spent 8 weeks at Beijing, so Beijing Normal University last summer learning Mandarin. And that's why my Mandarin is not yet perfect, so I probably couldn't say like too much more. But I thought I'll start in Chinese because I think to understand what's going on in the world, we need to understand what's going on in China, and that's also true for football. And some of you might know that there is like pretty big things happening in China when it comes to football. So by 2020 there should be something like 20,000 schools where they play football, and by 2025 there will be 50,000 schools where they play football. And another way of looking at this is that there will be in 2025 50 million Chinese people that play football. 50 million. It's a lot. A lot. But again, it's a country of 1.3 billion people, so it's not, no huge surprise. 50 million is kind of like, yeah. It's a few people in China, but for them, no big deal. So if we then look at that, and then also kind of like my background, so I used to be with Rovio making Angry Birds, and what we did there, okay, we launched this little game called Angry Birds in 2009, and then took that game everywhere. It's now been downloaded something like 3.8 billion times. So that's, I always say in China that, okay, there's 1.3 billion of you guys, but the Angry Birds nation is even bigger. Always good when you can, have a bigger number to throw at the audience. But also what's interesting with Angry Birds, that kind of like started, or Rovio got started 2003, so actually much earlier, and it started as a student project, so kind of like 3 young guys, Niklas, Kim and Jarno, they're students at the Aalto University. They won this game-making competition that I organized, and then asked me that, okay, what do we do now? And I said, you guys love making games, and I've always believed that you should do what you love, so why don't you start a company to make games? Then they started, and they made 51 games, or kind of like the next 6 years, then end of 2009, 50-second game Angry Birds. So just like many things in life, including football and any sport, typically it takes a while before you can master the sport or master the thing you're doing. So it took a few games, took a bit of practice, and then, yeah, Angry Birds turned out to be like a pretty big deal. Maybe what's interesting about that okay, 3 young guys from Finland made that kind of like happen. And the game, we then expanded to many other areas, animation, consumer products and all of that. But maybe the most important thing is that we made it the fastest growing consumer brand ever. So nowadays, if you look at the brand awareness, 93% of everybody in China knows the brand, 91% in India, 9 out of 10 people know the brand. And actually, if you look at the number of people playing Angry Birds, it's actually more than people that play football. So that's also kind of like an interesting example of what is happening in the world. I don't know about you guys, but anybody with kids knows that they don't watch TV much anymore. And I think that's something that we should also keep in mind when we think about the business of football, because yeah, a lot of that is coming from TV, and TV might not be around the way we know it today for kind of like forever. But okay, after we got the movie out last year at Angry Birds, so in May last year we made that #1 in 52 countries. decided it was a good time to start focusing on bigger things. So I left the day-to-day operation to focus on education, actually. And been talking many years about the need to combine these 3 E's: education, entrepreneurship, and entertainment. So I think that if you want to be successful in any area, we need to look at that kind of like triple E approach. So just like kids don't watch TV, they're not really engaging in education if you look at most of the planet, because education hasn't really been designed properly in many parts of the world. So I think that we need to also look at how we can make education more engaging, and keeping in mind that we are competing for people's time. There are so many things that you can do nowadays. So besides kind of like watching a football match, you can like download a new game, or you can switch on to Netflix, or you know, or so many things that you can do with your time. Super competitive. And back to China. So a couple of years ago, I was in Beijing. I had afternoon tea, as you do, with the president of the Beijing Multimedia University. And then the president of this university told me that his wife is really concerned about their 12-year-old son. Why? Because he plays basketball. And then I was like, right. And of course, I mean, here for a football audience, of course, should be concerned about the basketball. But that was not the reason for the concern. The reason for the concern, and you know, this again in China, the reason was that playing basketball or any sport, that is away from the important stuff, meaning school. And I don't know how much you looked at how education works in Asia, but there's like nothing more important. I was actually there in Shanghai last week, and there are some stats presented that I think was more than half of Chinese parents would rather starve than not have their kids go through education. So the priority is always education. So it's like nothing is more important. So this president of the Multimedia University was just sharing a concern that many parents in China have, that the kids are playing sports or doing, or even worse, that they're like playing, you know, games on their mobile. So that's like away from school, and that's obviously not like a good thing. And then at the same time, the objective in China is to have 50 million kids play football. And at the same time, we have all the parents saying that no, not a good thing. That's like away from school. You can't do that. So we need to obviously do something about that. And actually, maybe to really drive through the point on how important education is. I was in Beijing a couple of weeks ago and meeting with some of my friends, actually American friends, and they said that they got invited to this birthday party of one of their like friend like families. So the son in the family turned 5, and then they organized this birthday party at kind of like a hotel in Beijing, and they went there. It was a Saturday, and there's all these, you know, birthday cakes and clowns and like what have you, and like really nice birthday party for all the kids. And then at one point they asked the parents in this you know, family that where is, you know, the birthday boy, you know, the guy who was turning 5. So then the parents of this 5-year-old Chinese boy said that no, he couldn't make it, he has school today. So think about that. He couldn't even come to his own birthday party because he had school, and he's 5. So this is, you know, like how serious people are about education there. And now when we look at, you know, where the action is, and, you know, China wanting to have 50 million people play football in 25, obviously we will not be successful with that unless we provide them with the best possible education, combined with the best possible football or best possible sports coaching in other like sports. So good news here is that I'm from Finland. We have the best educational system on the planet. And always when I go to China, then I ask the kids that, okay, tell me about your school days. And then they typically tell me that, oh, they start 7 in the morning, and then, typically they might get home 7 or 8. And then I ask them that, okay, so you have very long school days. That must mean that you don't have any homework. And then the kids are like, no. I mean, we have lots of homework. Typically it takes like an hour or 2 or more to kind of like do that. So there's school and more school, no life. And I'm not like an expert in education myself, but I have 2 kids, 12 and 14. And yes, my son is 14 and he plays football like seriously, so like 6 times a week or something like that. Okay, those of you who follow like football know that okay, the Finnish team is not like amazing, so we could use some help from the experts here. But anyway, yeah, I think the Finnish national team's biggest achievement lately was that we managed to tie with Spain some years ago. So that was like, okay. But besides that, we're not like super high in the FIFA rankings. But when it comes to education, we're actually the best. And the interesting thing is that we have very short school days. So my kids go to the school 9 or 10 in the morning, then they get home early afternoon, and as I said, then my son goes play football, my daughter goes and plays with her friends, they get home like in the evening, and then yeah, they might have 15 minutes or 30 minutes of homework, if even that. So again, short school days, not a lot of homework, and we still deliver better learning results than anywhere else. And this is something that we're now working on to deliver fantastic, like football and to make football great in China. We need to combine the two, so bringing together best education and the best football. And this is also something that we're doing together with Spanish partners, so bringing together the best football coaching with the best education. And this is actually a fantastic opportunity and a great example of this kind of European or Eurasian partnership where we can actually make football even bigger and even greater. So that's one thing that I've been working on recently. Then also touch on the fact that going forward, it's not going to be good enough to do what we've been doing, like so far. So if we look at entertainment, and I kind of like put football and sports into that bucket, obviously. In the games business, and in this business of interactive entertainment, every day, 700 new games hitting the market. 700. That's like a lot. And yes, and I have like a minute, so I'm going to be fast. 700 new games, and they're all free, so there's like super little friction to get one of these games. Super competitive. Every day, hundreds of great games, but great games that nobody hears about. Because, yeah, it's pretty crowded. And there are already like hundreds of thousands of other games out there. And once you download a game, if you don't like it, it's free, so in 30 seconds, it's gone. And I think that when we look at football, we look at education, we need to design the future football experience like we design the best games nowadays. It has to be at that level. The in-stadium experience, the experience in engaging with the game remotely. TV, as it is today, will not be like good enough. Anybody with kids knows that TV is not like where it's at. So what we need to do is actually bring some of these best game designers, experience designers to the table and actually design the future of football together. So that's what I had on my mind today. I'm going to be around here for a little bit longer, so if anybody wants to talk more about what we can do together, come grab me. I'm pretty easy to find in my red hoodie. So that's kind of like part of how you do things differently as well. I didn't see anybody else wearing red here, so I'm super easy to find. Thank you.